just about everything. Comedian, actor, best-selling author, Broadway performer, Emmy Award-winning talk show
Multiple
host.
Emmy-winning, yep. After sold-out performances in Ireland and Scotland, Rosie O'Donnell has brought her acclaimed one-woman show, Common Knowledge, to New York. The one and only, please welcome, Rosie O'Donnell.
Hi. How are you?
So better for seeing you. How
Nice
are you?
to meet you.
I'm Ben.
Hi,
Nice
Rosie.
to meet you. You're
Tell
going to
me
blend
your
in with the
name
couch.
Marisol.
Marisol.
Sí.
Love it.
Did you know the couch was going to blend together? This is like a green screen.
Well, you know, I wanted to wear my good humor man outfit, and so I did.
Mission
Nailed it.
accomplished. Seeing you walk out those barn doors, you brought me right back to the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Yeah.
How about that?
That was amazing.
Can you believe that was 30 years ago?
No.
30.
Holy smokes.
It's hard to believe. And, you know, sometimes people will come over to me and say, is your show still on?
Yes.
I'm like, 3 decades ago it was on. It's not on
you
now.
had those things that you used
The
to...
Couche ball launchers.
And the glass note taped to the desk.
Taped to the desk.
I'm not a stalker, I promise.
That's all right. I like it. It's nice to have some people know what your work is.
I am a stalker because
Okay.
my mom met you once in Nyack, and to this day thinks you're her best friend.
We were at the mall, at the Palisades
We were at
Mall.
the Palisades, not the sinking mall.
That sinking mall. It still hasn't sunk all the way.
No, but I went the other day, and it's rumbling.
It's rumbling,
It's
yes.
having a sink.
Yeah.
How you doing? How's life?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Welcome
Yeah.
back to the States.
know.
Nothing's happened exciting. It's been
I know. What's
status
been going
quo.
on here? Anything since
It's
I
raining.
left?
It's
Anything
raining.
happened?
Same as it always has been.
Yeah, no, I've been in Ireland for a while now.
How's life over there? How's the food?
Food's delicious
that
because
right?
they have a lot of problems with pesticides or with they have a lot of more healthy choices.
Yeah, it's nice.
So the food, the steak especially, tastes very different than it does here.
Oh,
Yeah, but the
interesting.
people are so kind. You know, I've been so welcomed. I went there with my little autistic kid who's 13 years old, and I didn't know what it was going to be like. I'm not a good traveler. I don't, all my siblings got their passports because our grandparents are from Ireland. And I never did because I thought, what am I going to need 2 passports for,
Yeah.
you know? And then here I find myself over there now. So you never know what's going to happen in life.
But you love it.
I do love it. And it's very safe and it's manageable. And I don't have to hear politics of the United States every day, which sometimes has my name in it.
When you come back, though, to the States, what's the first, like, you get off the plane and you're like, give me this. I need this New York thing.
Well, when I was driving in from the airport, I passed a bagel shop late at night. I said, can we pull over?
Yes.
And I got a half dozen bagels. And then I saw a hot dog cart, and I thought, why stop now?
Carb up.
But also,
dirty
it's
water dog.
Broadway.
Yeah.
And I went last night to see Meg Statler in Oh Mary, and she is a superstar.
Yeah.
That woman from Hacks, do you know her from Hacks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, is she something else? And I've seen that show 4 times. I think she's by far the best person I've ever seen do it.
Amazing.
And I love to see, I could see a Broadway show every day.
Every single day.
Yes.
Can we talk about your show?
Yes.
Common Knowledge.
Common Knowledge.
Back to the stage.
Back to the stage. I went over to Ireland, and I didn't know anyone there. I just had 2 cousins up in Northern Ireland. And so when my kid was at school, I had all this free time. And everywhere I went in the little village that we live, I would see people who looked like my family, like my mom, who died when I was 10. And here's a 90-year-old woman at Tesco trying to find the right fruit. And I'm like, God, she has the face of my mother. And then I'd see my dad, who also has passed, with his little tweed cap and his cardigan, walking into a pub. I'm like, God almighty, that could have been my... So I was faced with my family of origin, and that's what I started to write. I try to write every day, and what was coming out were all these stories about how do you be a mother when you were not mothered. Yeah. And I have 5 children, and that's a lot of kids to have. And, I just put it all together in one show and started touring it over in Dublin. And then we went to Scotland, and then we went to Australia and toured over there. And so now we thought, why don't we try it here in New York?
This is a highly personal project, too. I mean,
Yes,
this is the stories that were inside you all these years that you're now coming out.
It's like my origin story. In Ireland, they didn't have my talk show, so people were not very familiar with me. And I wanted to explain to them sort of who I am and how it came to be. And so that's what I put the show together, thinking about. So we had to change some things here because I didn't have to explain to the New York audience who I am. I'm a New Yorker. They know.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it liberating to live and take up residence in a place where people are not necessarily familiar?
Well,
with
my
your breadth
little
of
kid
work?
said to me when we got there after about a week, she goes, "It's amazing here. You're not even famous."
Welcome to our world, everywhere we go.
Yeah, is that what it's like? You're
Every
just
day.
pushing people away all the
like
time?
So much paparazzi.
No photos, no photos.
Stop, please.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a one woman show. Do you prefer being on stage alone where you just have to worry about yourself, or do you like feeding off of others and kind of getting a vibe going?
Well, there's always improvisation when you're a stand-up comic innately, and there's so much room for that in this show. But it really is a play. It's a 90-minute or 75-minute play, depending on how much I improvise, about my life and going to Ireland and what that has been like for our family and how hard it is to be away from my 4 grown kids. My son just had a baby boy.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you.
Mazel.
Yes.
What are they going to call you? Are you grandma? Or
I am Nana.
You're Nana.
I am a proud Nana.
Nice. Love it.
But the sad thing is, we just went away for 2 weeks to the Jersey Shore, which we do every week with all the kids.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic. And the baby was there. He's only 3 months, and he will not let me hold him. When I hold him, he cries. So my son has to hold him, turn him face outward, and then hand him to me looking out. And then that's the only way I get to love on this 3-month-old.
Just get a Bjorn that looks out, and they'll never know the difference.
You're not kidding.
Just walk.
I was having muscle spasms from holding him in the football hold so he couldn't see me,
Show that kid a league of her own, and then that kid will turn right
Well,
round.
do you want to know something? Blakey, who had that baby, he's 26 now. When he was about 20, he came home from his friends and said, Mom, I was at Johnny's and I saw this movie. You were like a teenager.
Oh, come on.
You were a teenager, he said. You were playing baseball and you sounded like Sylvester Stallone. I said, first of all, I was 30.
Thank you.
And second of all, that's my most famous movie, Blakey. He goes, I didn't think it was that good.
Oh, come on.
I swear. They'll tell you.
Humble you right away.
Yeah. When Parker was a little baby, my oldest boy, I was a voice in Tarzan. I played the monkey Turk. And so when I didn't tell him because he was only 3 or 4 years old, and we went to see the movie in Nyack at the Palisades movie theater, and he stands up in the middle of the movie and he screams, "That monkey's my mama!"
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Crowning
at
moment.
Tarzan. That
You're
was
not
it.
kidding.
For them, that's it.
For them, that was it.
Is that, we're talking about, speaking of crowning moments, what is your moment? What is the thing of your advocacy and your creative projects and your whole life? What is the thing that you're like, that was my summit, that was it?
Well, for me, it's all about the kids. Nothing in my career could ever equal to the joy and beauty of having 5 children, especially, adopted children, that the other families were willing to be so generous and hand this child over to someone they didn't know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think of that every time I look at them. I think of how lucky I was. People said, "Oh, you're so great to adopt those kids. You saved them." I go, "No, they saved me." It was the opposite way around. And career-wise, I think doing League of Their Own probably was my first movie. It was
Never seen it. I have no idea what that is.
Well,
but you were young, though.
I was 7. I was a teenager.
You were a teenager.
Yeah, and I looked like Sylvester Stallone, apparently. But so I don't know. I think that was the most fun I had on a movie. And Penny was a riot. Yeah. And she, used to ask people to do things like, "I need somebody to go over, catch the ball, get a hot dog in their mouth. Who wants to do it?" And I would say, "I'll do it." And she'd go, "Rosie again? Why always Rosie?" No one could understand what she was saying.
Oh
but because she's from the Bronx, and I'm from here, so I totally got her bond and her vibe.
Oh, man.
Rosie, thank you so much.
Thank you, truly.
Hey, you guys, I hope you can come see the show. Maybe we can go have a drink afterwards.
I would love that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
We'll have to get security to guard us because of all the people
paparazzi
rushing us.
Common Knowledge is playing now at the Daryl Roth Theatre. 12 shows only, starting tomorrow night through August 8th. What a gem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have a lot more ahead on New York Living, whether you like it or not.